Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Larissa and I crochet plushies. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for being here. This week's video is going to be something a little bit different. This is my first ever challenge. I've never filmed a crochet challenge before, but I thought, why not give it a shot? We are going to be seeing how much I can crochet in 1 hour. If this one goes well, I will be trying to do the 24-hour crochet challenge as well. I just don't have enough time at the moment, but trust, I will try and do it pretty soon. Because it's only 1 hour, I'm honestly worried about how much I'll be able to make. I think I'm a fast crocheter, but I don't really know. So what I'm going to do to streamline the process, especially since I'm going to be working with amigurumi, I'm going to try and just time the actual crochet portion. So any sewing, stuffing, and adding safety eyes, I will not count. And I'll also try and make some smaller plushies just so I can get a little bit more done in that time. I haven't watched one of these videos before, so hopefully that doesn't count as cheating, and I wouldn't do it that way in the 24-hour challenge, but because it's only 1 hour, I think this is the best way to do it. I'm also going to do patterns with no sew anyways, just like sewing the hole up at the end, which I won't count. So just to make it a little bit easier and not do a big project with a bunch of different sewing parts and then it seems a little bit more cheating like. I'm deciding, I think, between maybe some octopus and a chick, maybe like the little no sew chick plushies that I have, like for my crochet kits, or like my chunky octopus, because I feel like those are the ones that I can do quite quickly. They're small and they're easy, no sew, one color, super fun. And I'm going to use the stopwatch feature on my phone just so I can like pause it when I need to, if I need to, and yeah, we can clearly see how much time there is going on. Before I started, I really wanted to thank you guys for 30,000 subscribers. I cannot believe it. I'm so grateful. This is an insane milestone, and I do want to do a giveaway for you guys. So let me know what things you would be interested in me giving away. I was thinking like some of my yarn or my crochet kits or some plushies or bag charms or one of my creations, stuff like that. So let me know what you guys would like to see in a giveaway, and I will definitely try and do it for you guys as soon as possible. Without further ado, let's get straight into the challenge. I think I'm going to start off by making a jumbo chick, just so the jumbo yarn makes it a little bit chunky, a little bit more interesting, and hopefully I can make this as quickly as I can make it in my normal size 6 yarn. This one might take a little bit longer, I don't know. I'm willing to take the risk and see how it looks and how quickly I can make it. I've also just realized this yarn is like split into little bits. There's another piece down there. So I'm gonna have to try and like tie this thing all together. That's really frustrating, but we'll do that before I start crocheting as well, just because that's gonna take some extra time. Hopefully it doesn't affect the result, should be fine, but we'll just get that sorted now. I'm also going to use a slightly bigger stitch marker. I use these quick locking stitch markers from Clover. I sell them on my yarn brand page, Scarly, on the website, just because these are the best stitch markers I've ever used, especially if you want to crochet fast and you crochet a lot. It's just saves that extra little second of time, but it's well worth it. And I'm going to be using a 10mm hook. I always use a 10mm hook when I'm working with this extra large yarn. This is the XL Premier Parfait yarn, so I think you can use a smaller hook if you like, but I like how it looks with a 10mm. All right, I've pulled the pattern up, so we are going to go ahead and get started now. There we go. All right, magic circle is done, and we're on to the second round. I forgot it is slightly more difficult for me to work with this extra chunky yarn, but that's okay. I have my hand strength. I've just been working with fluffy yarn the past couple of days, and that is even more challenging, so I would not do this challenge with fluffy yarn. All right, second round is complete. On to round number 3. You can see the yarn like getting tangled at my fingers. That's kind of annoying. All right, for round number 3 is done. Round number 4. All right, we're going into round 8, and this is where I make the little wings. I had to pause quickly because I had to help my mum with something, which is another thing is doing this on the weekend with my whole family around. I knew that I was going to get asked to do little things here and there, so make sure to have that pause ready so that I can quickly come back. But we are almost 9 minutes in. This is how much I have done, and now it is time to add the eyes, so we'll keep it paused and I'll add the safety eyes and then continue on with the crocheting. But this is not too bad. I feel like it's not super fast, it's not super slow, so it's like decently fast. So now it is time to add my eyes. I need to pick out the size. Okay, I think this is how the eyes are supposed to look. I will secure them on and then we will continue with the crocheting. All right, now it's time to stuff the plushie. I have once again paused the timer just because this is something else I like to take time with. I think people really underestimate the importance of taking your time when stuffing because it really helps determine the shape of your plushie, the way that you stuff it. With something round like this, it's generally fine to just stuff however you like, but when you want something to have a specific shape, you just want to take a little bit of extra time to make sure you're filling it out, and the stuffing can be like thicker in some parts and fluffier in other parts. You want to make sure that it's a pretty even fill that you're getting just so it doesn't get like lopsided and weird. All right, I think this is nice and stuffed. We can go ahead and continue with the last 2 rounds. We are 10.5 minutes in, so we will continue now. All right, the plushie is officially finished. Time is 11:25, so 11.5 minutes basically. It took me to do just the crochet portion of this little chick, which isn't too bad. So at this rate, we can make a few more, but I don't know if I have enough yarn for that, but I think that's a pretty good start. So I'm gonna go ahead and fasten off and then we'll just quickly sew this hole closed. I've added the mouth quickly, which I didn't count in the timer as well, just because it's not crochet, but it probably took like another minute. That is what we have for our first plushie of our 1-hour challenge. So I'm gonna decide what to make next. We will start the timer again and then continue on. You know what? I feel like we have enough yarn to make another one of those chicks. So I think we are just gonna continue and make another one of these chicks and try and do this in under half an hour total of the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer again now, and second chick is now in the works. Can see that the yarn is getting tangled up again. This just loves to happen. But now it is time for me to make the wings of the second little chickie. All right. Time to add the eyes. We are almost at 20 minutes now. All right, eyes are secured. That was nice and easy. Now we are going to continue with the rest of the body and then stuff and then continue on again. So I will start my timer again. All right, now it is time to add the stuffing once again. All right, we are stuffed. Now it is time to continue on with the last portion. All right, second chick is finished with the crochet portion and we are at 22 minutes. So we have finished 2 2 plushies in the span of 20 minutes. Obviously, it is a little bit more, including all of the parts that I've chosen not to count, but for sake of the lack of time, this is the most accurate amount of time that it takes for me to actually physically crochet the crochet elements of the plushie. So I think this will be it for the little chickies. I don't know if there's enough to make one more, but I feel like it's getting a little bit repetitive. I probably do get quicker every time I do it though. So changing up to something else now is probably slowing down my vibe, but I think it gives a little bit more variety for this video for you guys, and so you guys can kind of see like how long it takes for me to make different smaller plushies and maybe compare it to how long it takes for you or whatnot. I don't want this to be like a competition or anything. This is just a challenge. It really doesn't matter how quick or slow you are at crocheting as long as you get it done in the end. I think the end result and how cute it looks is the most important part and how happy you are with the product. All right, we have 2 little chickies now in 22 minutes. Now I think I'm going to move on to something else, but I don't know if I want to do an octopus or try out a different plushie just to give a little bit more variety. I think I'll have a look at my patterns, see what I have in the archive, and we'll pick and then continue on that timer. I've decided we're going to continue with the jumbo yarn vibe just for the sake of everything looking cohesive, and I'm enjoying working with the jumbo yarn. I feel like I need to order more and get through some of my stash just because I have so much of it. So we're going to make my Aussie the Octopus beginner crochet kit pattern with this lovely vibrant pink yarn. I wanted to do the Aussie octopus instead of my chunky octopus just so the tentacles are a little bit more pronounced. I feel like that might look a bit better with the jumbo yarn. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get straight into it, continuing the timer, and let's see how long this takes us. All right, now I'm beginning the actual tentacle part. All right, the tentacles are now finished, and it is time to add the eyes. I feel like he's so much taller with the jumbo yarn. I don't know, I think maybe I need to just see him finished first, but I'm gonna go ahead and add the eyes. I think I might use either 14 or 16 millimeters again. All right, the eyes are on. That was a little bit more difficult than before, so my fingers hurt a little bit, but we are currently at 30 to 30 minutes, so just over halfway. So now it is time for me to finish off this plushie. I might stuff a little bit before we start the timer again. And now I'm ready to start the timer and continue on. Okay, octopus is officially done. Now it is time for me to cut. I don't need to cut that much yarn. And this is what the octopus looks like. He's so cute. A lot smaller than I expected actually with the jumbo yarn. I don't really know what I was expecting, but he's still quite teeny tiny for a jumbo plushie, but super adorable. I'll definitely save all of these guys for my next market. And since they're so quick to make, I won't sell them for as much as even most of my regular plushies that I make with normal chenille yarn. So I think these will be great, especially for a Christmas market that I hopefully have lined up. I've applied for, but still need to get approved, but it's always the same market that I go to, so hopefully they will have me again. Here's the octopus all finished, and it took 34 minutes and 18 seconds. There. So that's pretty good. That's like basically another like 12 minutes. I think these all take probably about 15 minutes with all the other extra bits added in. This one probably a little bit less. This one is faster than the chick. I thought this one would be a little bit slower because of the tentacles, but it is smaller. So super adorable. I think there's probably a couple more of these that I can make actually. Seeing as I'm going at quite a quick pace, I think in hindsight I wouldn't have paused for all the other stuff. I think I would just combine it all into one. I was really worried I wasn't going to make nearly enough to make this like a proper video. I thought I was a much slower crocheter than I apparently am, even with the jumbo yarn. So I've impressed myself, but now I've complicated the process for basically no reason. But anyway, I think with all the other stuff I'd probably be at about like 45 minutes. But we still have like 25 minutes worth of time. So I'm going to pick out another jumbo color for the next octopus. I'm going to take a risk and hopefully this is enough blue to make an octopus with. Honestly, I think I'm going to be cutting it really close, but you know what? It's fine. We're going to go ahead and make another octopus in blue, and let me get the pattern back up. The timer will start now. The yarn is getting smaller and smaller. I'm really worried that I'm gonna run out. Hopefully I can finish all the tentacles, and if the underside is changed to a different color, then I don't really mind. But if I have to change it at any point before that, I'm gonna be quite upset because it's gonna ruin the result that I am hoping for. But hopefully it can hang on. Please hang on. Okay, now it's time for the tentacles. We have this much yarn. Hopefully that's enough to get through the tentacles. Guys, I think I might have bitten off more than I can chew. All right. Tentacles have been done. There's still a bit of yarn. Hopefully I can finish this off with the remainder of the yarn. Now it's time to add the eyes and stuff. Now we continue and hopefully use the remainder of the blue yarn. All right, and the octopus is officially done. We are at 46 minutes, so I think that if I had included like sewing and stuffing and eyes, I think this would have been about how much I could make in an hour. So I think that would be more realistic to the entire process. I could make 4 things, which is pretty good. I didn't really need to cut out all the extra bits like I said earlier, but I guess we have 14 minutes to make one more thing, which I think I can very realistically do in this time frame. So that's exciting, and we do have blue yarn left over. The smallest little bit of blue yarn in the world, but I'm just sewing this guy up and then I'll show you guys what I have left of the blue yarn. But thankfully, no color changes were necessary, and the blue octopus is not a patchwork plushie after all. So we have 2 little octos, 2 chicks, and this much blue yarn left. I'm almost annoyed that I have this much left because I don't want to like chuck it or use it as stuffing, but I don't have any other of this color in the jumbo yarn, so it's not like I can really use it for anything. I guess we'll keep it for the day that I restock. Okay, I was deciding between making baby bees for my baby bee bag charms or just making another octopus. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make a green octopus just because the baby bees are so tiny that like the contrast between super tiny and then super big plushies might be a little bit jarring. So we're gonna go ahead and use this green. I think we're gonna have to use this and then a little bit of this. So I'm not gonna tie them together just yet. We'll just do it while I'm crocheting, but we will go ahead and get started. Timer is started, and now we will go ahead. Okay, it is now time for the tentacles, and I've realized that I don't have enough green yarn from the first skein to make all of the tentacles, but I hope that I don't have to change it while I'm like out here on a tentacle. Hopefully I can hide it, because that will be really frustrating if there's just like a knot in the middle of a tentacle. So that's a little bit frustrating. I was hoping it would finish up either before or after the tentacles, but it looks like it wants to finish up during, so that's okay. All right, tentacles are finished, and I did have to do the color change and leave a little bit extra from the other skein just so that it wouldn't look weird and mess up my tentacles. But now it's time to add the eyes. I've got like under 4 minutes to go on the clock, so I think that's definitely enough time to finish off, but we're gonna go ahead and repeat the process, eyes and stuff. All right, and now we just have to sew the hole closed, but third octopus is finished, and we still have just under 2 minutes left on the clock at 58.6 seconds. So I feel like that is a success. We've gotten 5 plushies of pure crocheting with 2 extra minutes of time, but definitely if I hadn't paused at the parts that I did, it would have been just the 4, but I'm glad I got an extra plushie out of this challenge with my little extra rules to make it easier for me, just because I thought I was gonna be so damn slow. But that's okay. All right, so that is octopus number 3. Here are all the octopus, and then how am I gonna fit everything in the frame? Okay. Doing a little bit of juggling over here, but this is everything I made in an hour of just crocheting. So let's say we take away one of the octopus, this would be everything that I could crochet in an hour realistically. But I'm very happy with how these guys have turned out. Definitely going to be saving them for my next market. But that is all for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing this challenge. If you guys want to see me do any other types of challenges, please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And if you want to see more crochet related content, you can subscribe and join my little family. Love you guys. Bye.